Better blood sugar does not come from one miracle spice. Beans, intact grains, nuts, and vegetables help mainly because fiber and structure slow how quickly glucose enters the blood. Cinnamon and other spices may add a small benefit, yet their bigger value is replacing sugar-heavy flavoring. The strongest results come when these foods replace refined starches or sweets rather than being added to the same meal. Carbohydrates break into glucose during digestion. Refined starch breaks apart quickly because much of its natural structure has already been removed. Fiber, protein, and intact plant cells slow that process. The rise after eating can become smaller and more gradual. A slower rise usually requires less rapid insulin release. Insulin is the hormone that moves glucose from blood into cells. This does not make carbohydrate harmless. It changes how fast the same meal reaches your bloodstream. Start with beans, lentils, and chickpeas. They combine carbohydrate with fiber and plant protein, so digestion takes longer than white bread or crackers. Their best use is substitution. Replace part of the rice, pasta, or meat with them instead of adding a second side dish. Intact grains work through a similar pathway. Steel-cut oats, barley, quinoa, and visible grain kernels keep more physical structure than flour-based foods. A brown loaf can still contain finely ground flour. Color alone does not tell you how quickly the starch will digest. Non-starchy vegetables add volume with relatively little carbohydrate. Leafy greens, broccoli, peppers, mushrooms, and green beans can fill much of the plate. Eating them with the meal slows the overall pace of eating. Their fiber also reduces how densely starch is packed into each bite. Whole fruit can fit, especially when it replaces candy, juice, or dessert. Berries, apples, pears, and citrus keep water and fiber inside their natural structure. Juice removes most chewing and concentrates the sugar delivery. Dried fruit is smaller, so an easy handful can become several servings. Nuts and seeds offer fiber, protein, and unsaturated fat, which is fat that stays liquid more easily at room temperature. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios, chia, and flax can make a snack more filling. A small portion works best because these foods also carry substantial energy. Plain yogurt can add protein, with a moderate amount of natural milk sugar. Choose unsweetened versions, then add berries, nuts, or cinnamon for flavor. Flavored yogurt can contain enough added sugar to behave more like dessert. The label matters more than the healthy-looking package. Olive oil and avocado can slow a meal and improve satisfaction when they replace butter, creamy sauces, or fried toppings. They do not erase carbohydrate. Pouring oil onto an unchanged meal simply adds energy. The benefit comes from changing the meal, not decorating it. Healthy foods can still fail when they are stacked together. Oatmeal, banana, honey, dried fruit, and granola sound nutritious. Together, they can create a large carbohydrate load. Cinnamon on top does not cancel that load. Healthy labels cannot override a large portion or a poor combination. Protein foods can anchor the meal without adding much carbohydrate. Eggs, fish, tofu, chicken, and unsweetened dairy are common options. They do not neutralize starch, but they can reduce the need for oversized bread, rice, or pasta portions. Preparation still matters because breading and sweet sauces add carbohydrate back. Cinnamon has received the most attention among spices. Some trials show lower fasting glucose, while others find little meaningful change. Different products, doses, and study designs make the results hard to compare. Culinary cinnamon can support flavor, but it should not be treated like glucose-lowering medicine. Its practical advantage is often simpler. Cinnamon can make plain oats, yogurt, coffee, or fruit taste sweeter without added syrup. That swap can reduce added sugar across many days. The spice may help indirectly, even when its direct chemical effect is small. Ginger and turmeric also contain plant chemicals studied for inflammation and blood sugar. Human results remain mixed, and kitchen amounts are not guaranteed treatments. Their reliable role is flavor. They can make vegetables, beans, fish, and soups satisfying without sugary sauces. Spice blends need a label check because some contain sugar, starch, or large amounts of salt. Sweet chili seasoning, barbecue rubs, and instant drink powders may hide more carbohydrate than expected. A spice name on the front does not reveal what fills the package. These examples lead to one practical test. Ask whether an ingredient replaces something that raises glucose quickly or simply adds calories to the same meal. That distinction separates a useful swap from a healthy-sounding extra. A practical plate can begin with vegetables, followed by protein, then a measured portion of intact carbohydrate. Add one source of healthy fat when needed. Season the meal with cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, garlic, herbs, or pepper. This structure matters more than chasing one special ingredient. Breakfast shows how the structure works. Plain yogurt with berries and nuts usually creates a different response than sweet cereal with juice. Eggs with vegetables and one slice of dense whole grain bread differ from toast, jam, and sweet coffee. The foods are ordinary, but the combinations change the glucose load. Meal order may provide another small advantage. Starting with vegetables and protein, then eating starch, can slow early glucose entry for some people. It does not change the total carbohydrate amount. The effect also shrinks when the starch portion remains very large. Convenience does not require abandoning the pattern. Frozen vegetables, canned beans, plain microwave grains, and unsweetened yogurt can work well. Rinse salty beans when needed, and check sources for added sugar. A repeatable 5-minute meal often beats an elaborate plan used once. For people who already use a home glucose meter, these meal ideas can be tested rather than guessed. The same food can produce different readings in different people. Sleep, stress, activity, medicine, and portion size all change the response. Compare similar meals on separate days. Change one major item at a time, or the result becomes impossible to interpret. A lower number after beans may reflect the beans, a smaller rice portion, or a walk afterward. Record those details together. Look for the meal pattern that gives steadier readings without causing hunger later. Timing also changes the meaning. A fasting reading reflects overnight liver glucose, sleep, hormones, and evening intake. A post-meal reading reflects the meal more directly. One food may improve the post-meal rise while barely changing the next morning. Those are different outcomes. People using insulin or medicines that can cause low blood sugar should make major diet changes carefully. Replacing refined starch with smaller, higher fiber meals may lower glucose more than expected. Shaking, sweating, confusion, or unusual weakness can signal a low. Follow your treatment plan and contact your clinician. Concentrated spice supplements deserve separate caution. They can deliver far more than normal cooking amounts and may interact with medicines. Some products vary in purity or dose. Food level use is not the same as swallowing capsules marketed for blood sugar control. Choose foods by function, not reputation. Beans and intact grains can replace refined starch, while vegetables can replace part of the plate. Whole fruit can replace sweets. Nuts, seeds, yogurt, and healthy fats can improve fullness, while spices replace sugary flavoring. The winning pattern is repeatable substitution, reasonable portions, and readings that improve without leaving you hungry. Medicine simplified. That's what this channel does. If you want more, hit subscribe. This is not medical advice. Consult your doctor.